There are stories in the Philippines that speak not of what you see, but of what you hear at your own door. They are stories of a knock in the night, firm, insistent, yet unclaimed when opened. To many, that sound has a name, the Kumakatok. The word itself means those who knock. Tradition describes them not as ghosts of the ordinary kind, but as a trio of shadowed figures who arrive unbidden. Most accounts speak of them as three robed visitors, resembling mourners or monks, their faces veiled or hidden. They come quietly, not to speak, but to announce. Their act is simple. They knock at the door of a home. Within days, it is said, someone in that household will die. In older Philippine folklore, especially in rural provinces, the Kumakatok were feared as heralds of mortality. Their arrival was not punishment, but portent, a warning that death had already chosen its path. The family could not bargain, could not resist. Their role was not to take, only to announce. The earliest mentions appear in oral tradition, not written record. Elders recalled the stories being passed from one generation to the next, often in hushed tones. Accounts from the early 20th century say the Kumakatok were most often reported in times of epidemic or widespread illness, when death itself seemed to travel from house to house. It was during such outbreaks that households claimed to hear the unexplained knocking, followed by a death in the days that followed. Descriptions vary. Some say the three resemble monks in hooded cloaks. Others speak of them as pale-faced women, or as indistinct shapes in funereal garb. Always, however, they arrive as a group of three, and always they are silent, except for the knocking. With time, the stories changed. By the mid-20th century, reports of the Kumakatok began to fade. Some say this is because people, fearful of them, began repainting or fortifying their doors, a symbolic act to ward them off. Others believe that as medical understanding grew and epidemics lessened, the Kumakatok were spoken of less often, their role taken up by modern explanations of disease and chance. Still, they have not disappeared from memory. In contemporary Philippine folklore collections, the Kumakatok are remembered alongside other spirits of warning. They are not widely reported today, but the image endures: the late night knock, the unseen visitors, the death that follows. The Kumakatok, then, are less a ghost story than a cultural memory of grief. They embody the fear of death arriving suddenly, without reason, in the stillness of night. To speak of them is to recall a time when each household kept vigil for its own survival, and when the sound of a knock on wood carried a weight far heavier than a greeting. And so their story remains. They are not banished, nor gone, but waiting in the folklore of the archipelago. Three robed figures at the edge of the lamplight, whose silence is broken only by the hollow echo of their hands against the door.